What's up, people? So I making good progress on the Z. Got this thing cleaned up, wheeled it out, pressure washed the whole interior. You see how good it looks. Also had to, man, I had to like scrub this thing with brake cleaner. But man, look how clean that engine bay is. Oh, look at how pretty that is. That's gorgeous. How clean all my cross member is. No more, it was just covered with oily crap. I think it was power steering fluid. Took all my high cast stuff, solenoids, all that's out. I got the reservoir out. I'm gonna put an NA reservoir on it. So yeah, man, that thing's looking good. Took out the extra power steering tubes that run to the rear. Got all that taken out. You can see, look at all this crap that I took out here. It's an amazing bunch of crap. So the reservoir, all those tubes and pipes, the big ass pump, the solenoid for the rear, the solenoid for the front. That's a lot of crap. I still got to take the bar out from the back and replace it with the little aluminum one from Z1. Spent the day cleaning my transmission. Look how pretty that thing is now. It was totally covered with black. I pretty much scrubbed the whole thing with a screwdriver. And but man, it's all nice and clean now. Don't have to worry about getting all nasty dealing with that. I just finished painting. I'm putting some POR 15. There was the clutch master cylinder was leaking at some point and had leaked for a while. Obviously it was all completely rusted all down in here, and all the paint had come off. So I spent a few days sanding and getting all the loose paint out and scraping and just getting it to where I could paint it. So yeah, I know it's black right now. I've got some white I'm gonna put over it, and the white will look a whole lot better. And I don't care if it doesn't match. It's not like you're gonna see any of this, but I don't want it rusting on me. So that was really the only place in the engine bay where the paint was coming off, or that's got trouble. The battery tray's got just a little bit of rust on it. I'm fixing to get to it next, but that's not too bad. So already got round one on that. Hopefully I'll get the second coat on this afternoon, and then I'll get the white paint on tomorrow. Probably I'll have to sand it back down and put the white paint on it, but I'm making good headway as far as that. I got my I got the wiring harness out. I got the plate out, and I got my steering rack rebuilt. So it's in with new bushings. I hadn't hooked the steering column back up yet because it's in the way of me painting. But since I get done painting, I'll hook the steering wheel back up, and steering rack will be good to go. And I don't know, that's about it, man. I was going to show you guys how I cut the plate. Let me see if I can find what I did with it. How I cut the plate for the steering rack. When I take, it's not the steering rack, the wiring harness. So this plate's up in here, and you can reach it through the hole, and you can see I cut one side with a Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel, and then I cut the other side with a Dremel tool, and then I fold that tab down, and then you can get to the nut on the back side with like a folding ratcheting end wrench. So I get that out of there, and then I take the nut off the bottom, and then you can just basically push this thing out, down, and inside. So I'm not putting my wiring harness in until I get done with my painting, because again, it's just stuff to get in the way. But as soon as I get my paint done here, I can get the wiring harness in and get the brake booster and the brake master cylinder, brake clutch cylinder, all that stuff back in, get the steering rack hooked back up. And at that point, I'm just waiting for my heads to get back. I dropped my heads off in Denver a couple of weeks ago at Dave Sarno Racing Heads, and he's doing my heads for me. He looked at them and said there wasn't really anything that needed porting, that they do a pretty good job on these foreign heads or whatever. So he's just basically doing a valve job for me, and as soon as I get the heads back, I've got some cleanup still to do on the block itself. I hadn't messed with it much. I need to finish scraping all the head gasket off, and it's still pretty oily. So I'm gonna clean all that up. I'm debating if I'm gonna paint the block. I may get crazy and paint the block something, and then I'm just gonna pull the oil pan off and reseal it. I'll probably put a new oil pump in it, because why not? And I'll probably repaint the oil pan. It's got some spots that are paint's coming off on it. It's kind of rough, so I'll probably paint that. But aside from that, putting the engine back together shouldn't take me but a couple of days. That'll go pretty fast once I get it all cleaned up and everything. And I'm probably going to drop the rear end and drop the fuel tank and check out the fuel pump. If not, just go ahead and replace the fuel pump. But I'll replace all the fuel lines in the back so I don't have to worry about them leaking, and the lines in the tank, and get all that done. I'm going to order turbos, and I'm not sure what you call the pipe that comes out after the turbos, but I'm going to get the 525 Z1 turbos. I don't want to go too big. I just want to keep the stock size, just get a little bit more, a little bit bigger internals, and I'm not looking for fitment issues, and I'm not trying to get all crazy with this thing. If I get this thing to 500 horsepower, I'd be super happy, and we'll see about that. It's got the bigger injector. I think it's got like 700 something cc injectors, and so obviously I'll have to get another chip, but that's where I'm at. So just keep on painting, waiting for the heads. Next time I see you guys, I'll probably have this front end all wrapped up, and I'll probably start working on the rear end a little bit. So hopefully that won't be too long. We'll catch you guys later.